Hello, you've caught me feeling unstoppable in a video game.
Difficulty spike activated.
Oh, for Ah yes, difficulty spikes. Those bits in the game that don't ramp up the challenge so much as form a physical spike that then stabs you in the face for your hubris. There's something you'll find in pretty much every game as well. We get it. Balancing complexity for anyone that could play the game must be incredibly tough. How can you possibly expect to accommodate everyone? But there are some difficulty spikes that are so notoriously stressful that a throwaway mention would make a seasoned veteran's blood run cold. And since the last time we did this video, that list has only continued to grow. So check out the original video if you haven't already, but here is our updated list.
You're dead.
7 crushing difficulty spikes that will absolutely destroy you. Let's start off with a relatively recent example of multiple crushing difficulty spikes that destroyed me. The bonus shape levels in Astro Bot. Look, don't laugh. I know it's not exactly Elden Ring, but these are properly hard, even for experienced gamers. Especially when you consider how comparatively gentle everything surrounding them is. What a lovely world. Look at that funny singing tree and the cute robots and the pretty flowers and oh no, I fell off the edge. Back to the last checkpoint I go, free to repeat as many times as I require. Oh, what's that new level that's just appeared over there? Oh, how naive I was. These levels are easily the most difficult in the entire game. Retro Rumble nearly gave me an aneurysm on stream. But the most difficult level for me is Splashing Sprint, a level built around cooling down lava with a rubber duck. The thing that won't cool, however, is your temper, because just as soon as you've figured out how to get across the initial pit of molten rock, you then have to immediately adjust back to regular platforming challenge mode. Otherwise, you'll get hit by the missile and have to start all over again. The level might be less than a minute long in total, but it's already burned its way into my nightmares. And I still haven't done the Grand Master Challenge yet, which is also apparently really hard. Yay. The next crushing difficulty spike that will destroy you can be found in Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, a game that has tough moments throughout, but really brings its A game in the courthouse section. The A in A game clearly representative of the amount of people who did this section first time. Absolutely no one. After being sentenced to death in a televised show trial, the constantly badass BJ Blazkowicz snaps his restraints and takes on his Nazi tormentors. What follows should be an epic shootout against nearly every threat you've faced so far. Armoured elites, dogs, and even those horrible laser-toting robots. But the first 10 times I did it, it was more like this. Not quite the impressive set piece the game probably expected. What makes it even more painful is the ending. When you do eventually limp your way over the finish line of the encounter, it turns out the whole sequence was a hallucination and you're still imprisoned, which really stings. Though probably not as much as BJ's head when it's chopped off in the next scene. Crushing difficulty spike that will destroy you. Number 3 looks awfully similar to one of the most notorious missions in the history of Grand Theft Auto, Wrong Side of the Tracks. But this is actually the much newer derailed mission from Grand Theft Auto 5, although it's clearly influenced by the mission in San Andreas. What is their obsession with bikes and trains? Unlike the PS2 mission, Derailed doesn't involve having an ineffective passenger try to kill gang members on top of a moving train, but the far less strenuous landing of a motorbike on top of a moving train. A task that the game expects you to fail because they put multiple jumps along the path and give you a gold medal for nailing it on the first attempt. That gold medal, incidentally, is called Better Than CJ, the snark of which has all the subtlety of a sledgehammer. After that, there's a bit of hijacking a train, a bit of driving a boat, and a bit of light B&E. But then you have to fend off seemingly endless hordes of NPCs, all of which barely have the ability to walk in a straight line, yet can seemingly take you down with a pistol shot blindfolded from the other side of the map. And that's before you have to contend with using the thermal scope to shoot parachuting baddies out of the sky. Honestly, this seems like an awful lot of effort just to steal a briefcase from a cargo container.
Why are you making it so hard for yourselves? All you had to do was rob the damn train, guys.
Mafia Definitive Edition is a fantastic reimagining of the already brilliant 2002 game, perfectly capturing the seedy haze of 1930s gangster movies while making it prettier and available on modern consoles. It also contains an infamously crushing difficulty spike that destroys the spirit of anyone not willing to race a rocket-powered tube on bicycle tyres while avoiding 15 other rocket-powered tubes on bicycle tyres.
This is a race that cannot be won, it has to be beaten.
Racing is usually a pretty cheery moment in a game featuring great driving mechanics, but this quickly becomes incredibly difficult when you find out the car doesn't feel like any other car in the game. It accelerates really fast, brakes really slowly, and has worse grip than a week-old post-it note. Not to mention, every time you so much as touch the grass, you will take off faster than a space shuttle.
It would be tough enough if you were racing on your own, but you have to deal with all of that while avoiding every other car on the track as well.
There is no mercy on the Lost Heaven Grand Prix. Miss a corner and you crash. Clip another driver's wing mirror, crash. Can't control the slipstream boost, crash, crash, crash. And good luck making those lost places back again. You'd have better luck walking around the course.
Supposedly, the team behind the remaster made tweaks so that players could, and I quote, complete it on the first try. I was not one of those players.
The fifth crushing difficulty spike on our list is the Hillcrest area in The Last of Us Part 2. For my money, the toughest section of the entire game. It's the first time you get to experience the true essence of what Part 2's combat is all about.
Namely you desperately running and gunning through areas of heavily armed lunatics and their dogs.
That's what tips Hillcrest into full-on difficulty spike territory for me, because it means you can't just do what I like to do and stubbornly hide for as long as it takes everyone in the area to blindly walk one by one into your cunning stealth trap combo of long grass and a shiv, because now you've got dogs that will sniff you out.
You're forced to keep moving, grabbing whatever scraps of ammo you can while squeezing through gaps and scrambling over fences.
I honestly think this is one of the most meticulously designed stealth combat areas I've ever had the pleasure of playing through. A tense mini sandbox of rooftops, stairways and tight interiors, where you'll often spy a last-minute escape route when you're inches from being discovered.
Or you won't, and you'll die 7 or 8 times, like me.
Hillcrest is the area where The Last of Us Part 2 rolls up its sleeves and does a Neo. It looks you in the eye, brings up its hand and beckons you to come on then. And if you really want to test yourself, try playing it through on grounded difficulty.
Just like I haven't.
The penultimate entry in our list is from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and is something you don't even really have to do.
Yeah, you try moving to the next area before you've 100% completed the one you're currently in without spontaneously combusting and see how you do.
We all know optional is video game for do this or hate yourself, and so I embarked on Rebirth's proto-relic side quest with the FOMO-induced indecision of a wannabe completionist who really just wanted to see what happened next in the story. The Junon proto-relic quest centres around the Fort Condor minigame, something that, with its fan-pleasing references to the original both in terms of gameplay and beautiful retro renditions of the cast, initially had me cooing with delight.
Until I got to the third battle and my smile started to sour.
This difficulty spike felt like it went right through my heart. Fort Condor, all I ever did was love you. Why must you punish me so? I'd get to the boss and it would just pummel my weakened units into dust while a rogue enemy nobody pushed the battle line all the way back. Again and again it happened. It felt like I'd tried everything.
What I actually did was try the same thing 6 times and then give up.
Until it got to the point where my desire to push the story forward won out over my lack of patience. And I did the thing no RPG gamer ever wants to do. I left the Junon region with less than 100% completion.
I felt bad at the time, but I needn't have, seeing as how both Gears and Gambits and that flipping cactuar mashing minigame were both still to come and could easily have been entries on this list on their own if they hadn't left me so scarred and traumatized.
Our final entry on this list is Genichiro Ashina from Sekiro, and if you're a regular viewer thinking to yourself, how would you know about that difficulty spike, Rob? I bet you never even got to him. Then prepare to be correct.
What I have done is interview Alex, who has the Sekiro Platinum, to try and capture the authentic, emotional essence of what it's like to face this boss.
Oh no, don't!
What I then did was read the Sekiro wiki.
You actually fight Genichiro Ashina early on in the game. It's one of those classic boss fights where you're supposed to lose, although apparently it is possible to defeat him here. If you have done, here's an open invitation to boast about it in the comments.
I'll reply to all of you with a completely unironic well done, because seriously, well done.
When you face him the second time, it's as if Sekiro is saying to you, welcome to the real game. Genichiro Ashina has a massive posture bar that you'll need to whittle down with perfectly timed deflections. You need to strike a perfect balance between precise defense and controlled offense. Being overly aggressive or too timid will both result in death.
This is where you first learn the dance of Sekiro. Apparently.
In his second phase, you'll need to use a perfectly timed lightning reversal to counter his horrible new lightning attack. Sekiro is a challenging game throughout. This fight, however, is a difficulty spike only the most perfect of parries can deflect. So there you have it, 7 crushing difficulty spikes that will absolutely destroy you. Did you have trouble with any of these? Can you think of some we've missed? Let us know in the comments, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss another Friday feature. Thanks for watching, see you again next week.
PlayStation